let's talk about Riesling. For some people, it's just that sweet, simple wine. But for others, it's a whole other world. We're talking one of the most complex, age-worthy grapes on the entire planet. So today, we're going to dive into this enigma, this grape that people either don't get or absolutely adore.
I mean, experts rave about it, right? They talk about its elegance, its incredible range, and it's got the history to back it up. We're talking centuries of history, originating right from the Rhine River Valley in Germany. It's basically true wine royalty.
So what's the big deal? What actually makes it a legend? Is it the history? The taste? Well, the answer is a little more complicated than that. But don't worry, we're going to crack the code today and figure out how one single grape can have so many different, sometimes even contradictory personalities. All right, let's get right into the heart of the mystery. How on earth can one grape make a wine that's bone dry and super zesty, and also a wine that's lusciously sweet and crazy complex? That's the puzzle we're here to solve. Okay, so here's the secret code. Riesling has this natural superpower. It can get super, super ripe. We're talking loaded with sugar, but at the same time, it holds on to this incredibly high, zinging acidity. And that perfect balance, that's the key to everything. That's where all the magic comes from.
Yeah, this balance of power between the sweet and the sour, it's the whole shebang. So let's break down exactly how that defines all the different styles you'll find on a wine label, especially when we're talking about its German homeland.
First things first, you have to get your head around its acidic backbone. Think of it like the skeleton of the wine. Even in the sweetest of the sweet Rieslings, that vibrant acidity just cuts right through. It stops the wine from feeling cloying or heavy, and it keeps everything fresh and alive. And hey, that's also the secret to why these wines can age so beautifully, for decades even.
Now, here's something really cool about the German system. Their classifications aren't about which vineyard is better. Nope. It's all about how ripe the grapes were when they were picked. This is like a secret decoder ring for the label. A Cabernet means an early harvest, so you're going to get something light and delicate. But if you see Alsace, you know those grapes were super ripe, and the wine is going to be way richer and sweeter. See? Easy. Okay, so we've got the structure down. Now let's talk about the aromas, because this is where the story gets really good. We're talking about a sensory experience that completely transforms over time. It's like watching a character develop in a great movie. When a Riesling is young, it's just bursting with these fresh, pure smells. Just imagine it. Zesty lemon and lime, juicy peach, beautiful white flowers like jasmine. And then there's this really distinct mineral thing going on. People often call it whetstone, and you really get that from the famous slate soils in Germany.
But give it some time in the bottle and a crazy transformation happens. Those fresh fruits, they get deeper, turning into honey, dried apricot, and even orange marmalade. You start to get these complex, spicy notes, like ginger. And then you get something else, something totally unique. And this right here, this is the ultimate proof of how well Riesling can age. I know, petrol sounds weird, right? But for wine lovers, that note is a total hallmark of greatness. It's a sign that the wine has evolved and developed this incredible complexity right there in the bottle. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. So on top of everything else, Riesling is also a global chameleon. It's an absolute master at expressing terroir, that unique sense of place where it's grown. So let's take a quick trip around the world and see how it changes its colors. First stop, its homeland, Germany. In places like the Mosel or the Rheingau, you get that classic quintessential style. We're talking delicate, elegant, super high in acidity, and just driven by that slaty minerality. The wines might feel light, but man, are they intense with pure, focused aromas. Okay, now just hop across the border into Alsace, France. The climate here is a bit sunnier, a bit drier. And what happens? The wines totally shift gears. They become more powerful, much fuller-bodied, and they're almost always fermented completely dry, giving them this amazing rich texture. And then you've got the New World, where winemakers are doing all sorts of exciting, innovative stuff. You go to Australia's Clare Valley or up to Washington State in the US, and you find these Rieslings that are just exploding with vibrant, pure lime and citrus flavors. They're really showcasing the grape's fresh, zesty fad. Okay, so why should you care about all this? What does it all mean for you? Well, it's simple. This incredible versatility, this perfect dance between sweetness and acidity, makes Riesling one of the best, and I mean the best, food pairing wines on the entire planet. period. I mean, it just tackles food pairings that other wines run away from. Got spicy Thai or Indian food? A slightly sweet Spätlese is your best friend. The sweetness calms the heat. Fresh oysters or sushi? A bone-dry, minerally Riesling is absolute perfection. It cuts right through rich pork or duck, and it can go toe-to-toe with everything from tangy goat cheese to the funkiest blue cheese.
So there you have it. We've cracked the code. You now have the keys to understanding this truly remarkable grape. But this is where your real journey begins. If you remember one thing, remember this. It's all about that unique balance of acid and sugar. That's the engine driving everything. It's what allows Riesling to have this insane range, to age so gracefully, to develop all those complex aromas, and to taste so different depending on where in the world it was grown. So now you've got the map. You have the keys to explore all of its different worlds. So the question is, which Riesling are you going to discover first? Are you going to go for a crisp, dry one from Alsace, a classic, slightly sweet German Riesling, or maybe a zesty one from the New World? The adventure is all yours.